So, first and foremost, just so we get an idea of what's going on right now, where are you at right now? I know that you've just put out a new course, and it looks really interesting. If you could fill us in on that, that'll be a good mood to set for this interview.
I just did I just released this Millions on the Phone webinar, webcast. I promised 2 hours. We did 4 hours and 27 minutes. I don't think I'm exaggerating by any. I'm trying to hit it right on the nail here. Yep. And it was basically everything to do with the telephone, how to make a call, how to get past the gatekeeper, scripts, pitches, prompts, handling objections. And this was not, a lot of people said, oh, this is for salespeople. But I'm like, look, in your career, in your life, if you have an idea as an entrepreneur or an artist, because my wife's an actress, and her problem was, and I got friends in LA. I lived in LA for 12 years. Most of our friends were artists and musicians there. And the problem was, dude, how do you get somebody to listen to your pitch? Whether it's a script or it's an idea for music or a movie or an idea for a startup company. At some point, you're going to need somebody to pay attention to you, and you're going to have to pick up a telephone. You can't do it on Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter. I mean, those are mediums to get attention, but they're not mediums to directly go into contact with somebody. And the phone is still the most powerful tool ever created in the history of entrepreneurs.
Yeah, I know that's 100% true. And it's easy to build rapport that way, right? It's that, and then there's also meeting face to face.
Yeah, I mean,
isn't always possible.
The phone is the thing that's going to sooner or later. Look, the phone is what got me my first TV show, Joel. I don't know if you know this story, but I dropped at that time. I think we had dropped 1,100 videos on YouTube, and the whole purpose of the videos was to drop video to get attention of a media group. Yeah. Sure enough, it worked. I get a call from New York one day. Guy calls up, talking to my office in LA at the time. We're in Miami Beach today, but they said, hey, we're interested in Grant for a TV show. So I grabbed the phone. Now I'm on the phone. Okay, there's 3,000 miles between me and this person. And what I wanted to do at that point was close the deal, not have a conversation.
Yep.
And this is the point people are missing. They're having conversations on the phone, and they're not closing a deal. And a conversation is basically somebody that's out of control. Okay? So what you want to do when you're on a phone, or in anything, any communication is about creating an effect that produces a result.
Okay. So when you're when you're focusing on the sale, do you have the goal, like the end in mind the whole time? Is that what you're doing?
Sure. So when I picked up this phone, I went and jumped on the phone because I heard this cat from New York, right? And my opening was, what's the call about? And the guy's like, well, we saw your videos on YouTube. We think you'd be perfect for TV. At that point now, I have to freaking reel him in.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's sold. Now I need to get in front of him. And I said, look, what took you guys so long to call me? And he's like, what? I said, what took you guys so long to call me, man? And he's like, we just discovered you. I said, well, my bad, my fault. I said, where in New York are you? And he told me, I think 62nd Street. And I said, I'm going to be there Thursday. And he's like, what? I said, I'm going to be on 63rd and whatever I told him on Thursday, right? And he's like, are you kidding me? And he literally covered the phone, and I could hear him say, hey, Bruce, he's Thursday. And he picked the phone back up and he says, hey, man, will you make time for us? And I'm like, absolutely, bro. And I guarantee you he was thinking at that moment, this is meant to be. Yeah. Right? So basically what I did was I moved a conversation into an appointment.
Yes.
Now what nobody knows and knew at that point is I couldn't go to him on Thursday. Okay? I wasn't scheduled to go there on Thursday until I heard him say there was interest, at which point I was willing to move my entire calendar. We called him back and said, look, I can't do Thursday. Something else has come up. Creates a scarcity kind of mentality. And we scheduled for the following week. I went out there and closed the deal.
Crazy. I love it, man. I love the process. And dude, you probably could have flown out there. You got your private jet now.
Well,
tell us about that, man.
Didn't have it then, though.
Okay.
We got to get on 365 GC. That's the tail number on it, 365 GC. That means I get to be me 365 days. I got to come pick you up, man. Maybe I'll come pick you up in Vegas this weekend.
Brother, head out there, man.
Okay.
That would be absolutely great. Yeah, we'll keep in touch. And sounds good. I'd love to do that. Excellent, man. What are you doing with the Whatever It Takes network? It's definitely blowing up.
Yeah, this is a TV. You ought to have a show on there, bro.
Yes.
We should have you on there.
Put me on.
What we're doing is we're basically collaborating with other entrepreneurs to deliver content digitally to stream out to entrepreneurs, authors, experts, coaches, people that want to start up. Maybe they're in a startup, they're in transition from one business to another. They want to start banking some real paper. You know, they want to start racking racks. You know, you want to start counting it so deep that you like, I'm a waste some this weekend. It doesn't matter. So if you want that kind of financial freedom, man, you need to be listening to people that are creating that kind of financial freedom. If you want to be a millionaire, surround yourself with 8 other millionaires and you'll be number 9.
Yep.
And so that network is basically so that we can immerse people in good content from guys that are actually doing it. I'm not talking about the guys that did it 30 years ago. I'm talking about guys that are doing it right here, right now, in the moment. And so we're looking for other people to collaborate with on that network. We have 25 shows right now. We deliver content every day. It's called Cardone TV now. We changed the name to GrantCardoneTV.com, and it's for people that are willing to do whatever it takes to get financial freedom.
Yeah, excellent. And who do you have on the network at the moment that we might know of?
Oh, man, let me see. I mean, I have so many people. I have Coach Michael Burt. I mean, I've interviewed everybody from Jeffrey Gitomer. Jeffrey's got a show on. Tom Hopkins. We've had, we're in talks with some other very big people to come on the network. It looks like Pitbull is going to be doing an interview with me. I do confessions with other freaking big hitter entrepreneurs. And Jared Glantz got a show. Me and him do a show called For Millennials. I have Josh Felber. I mean, I could go on and on. A bunch of women on the show doing shows about solopreneur. I mean, the list is deep.
Yeah, that's insane, man. That's insane. So, you know, you listed a number of people that you feel have quality, right? That are great.
Yeah.
Who has inspired you? Like over the years, who is somebody that you haven't got around to yet, maybe you haven't networked with yet or been a part of their projects with yet, but they've really inspired you along the way?
Man, look, everybody, people always, hey, Grant, will you be my mentor? I'm like, look, if a guy has written a book, he's your mentor. So Gary Vaynerchuk, okay, he's a mentor of mine. I'm going to collaborate with Gary at the end of this year in October. Me and him are going to do a gig here in Miami. It's going to be a Q&A and basically a gathering of hustlers. We're the icons of the hustle, man. So I have so many mentors, Joel, I don't even know where to start. You know, you're a mentor of mine. I watch the stuff you do and I learn from you.
Thanks.
And there's been guys that have written books where I have never even read the book. The cover mentored me to another level. There's a real estate book, for instance, called, I think it's called something about building your real estate empire. I never even read the book, bro. The title made me $1 million.
What?
And I see people saying, "Man, I read the book, and this paragraph was written wrong. Look, it was written wrong, or you got grammar, or whatever." I'm like, dude, I'm not looking for $30 when I read a book. I'm looking for millions of dollars. So you got to change your mindset when you go to church.
Yeah.
You know, if it's just going to be another sermon, then it's just another sermon. If you're going to go to a seminar like you're going to in Vegas this weekend, you got to go there looking for the jewel that's going to shift you into the next league.
Yes.
So, I mean, there's no easy way for me to answer mentors, dude. I had so many of them. I study all the time. I'm searching for the next level, and I surround myself with positive people so I can grab positive content. That's one of the reasons why we created that Millions on the Phone webcast. Video webcast. It's live. I sit in a chair. My staff thought it was going to be like 90 minutes. I delivered 4 hours and 27 minutes. It comes with I think it's an 86 page. I don't want to exaggerate. I'd rather over deliver, but I think it's an 86 page PDF ebook. We opened with the ebook and it sold over 10,000 copies with no advertising. Because the phone is the drone. All right, with no batteries. And there's no regulations. I can call anybody at any time and say, "Hey, my name's Grant Cardone, and I can increase your sales by 25%. Hang up on me if you want to, but if I'm not exaggerating, then you need to listen to me." See, that's a pitch right there.
Yeah. I love it, man. What do you do just before you jump on the phone? Do you get yourself in a certain state? I mean, you've been doing this for so long, but I know that you train a lot of people, right?
I stay in one.
You stay in it.
Tony's got to get himself in a state. I stay in it. I'm a country. I'm a country. I'm a damn planet. I'm a universe, bro. I'm not trying to get into something, man. I stay in it. I don't get ready. I stay ready. You guys need to stay ready, man. You need to immerse yourself. The fish doesn't swim.
Yeah.
Okay? The fish is not. Human beings need to swim because they had to get into the water. The fish is living. Okay? You guys need to quit drinking the Kool-Aid. You need to start swimming in it. Success is something to swim in, not something to freaking play with.
Yeah. I love it.
I mean, look, you got all those guitars back there, dude. How am I going to learn to play one of them? I mean, really. Dude, I need to live with that
practice,
thing.
bro.
I need
You
to
have
live
to practice.
I need to live with it. I need to eat it. I need to sleep with it. I need to have sex on it. I need to freaking, I need to hug it. I need to cherish it. I got to be with it all the time, man. Take a bath. You hold your pecker in one hand and the guitar in the other one.
You got to wife it, man. You got to wife it. You're in for life. That's it.
You're right, bro. That's right.
Yeah.
And the same thing with getting known, okay? Like if you're going to get known, like whether you're playing a guitar or you're writing a book, guys, you got to go all out, okay? You got to go out and you got to be willing to do the stuff you don't want to do. I listened to a guy's conference the other day and he's talking about find the things you love to do. I'm like, bro, you're going to come up 100 million short if that's all you do. You got to be willing to do the things you don't want to do. Mick Jagger is going to be doing Orlando this weekend. I guarantee you he don't want to do that again. He's doing it.
Yeah.
So you got to be willing to do the stuff. You guys that don't want to be salespeople, you don't want to make a phone call, you don't want to follow up, you don't want to make a cold call. Yeah, so what? I don't want to be broke either. I don't want to die at 80 and nobody knows me.
There you go.
Damn, you're pretty.
Yeah, you associate pain with that, right? It's losing. You don't want to be a loser. So you do anything it takes, whatever it takes to make it happen.
Dude, I ain't losing anymore. I'm done losing. I tried the experiment. It sucks. You know, when I finally understood that failing takes as much energy as succeeding. Succeeding does not take more energy. It is not more work. It is less work. I've done both experiments. Okay, there's basically three levels. You ready?
Yeah.
Fail, just get by, or success. Okay, I'm gonna tell you, the worst of the bunch is just getting by. Dude, failing is actually easier, okay, less painful than just getting by. Because just getting by, now you got a little bit, you got a little taste, you got a little snort of the whole thing. You're like, damn, that tastes good, man. I think I want a little more, but you can't have any more. So you got just enough that you can't waste anything, that you're always concerned that you're going to lose this thing, whatever that is, money, love, attention, success. You know, you got one of your pieces of music became a little bit of a hit, but not all the way. It's just a little tease of fame. Dude, that's worse. I mean, that is the worst state there is. So to get the rest, you got to keep putting wood on the fire.
Yeah, that's it, man. Keep it burning, keep stoking the fire, keep it going.
Yeah.
Stack it up, man. Stack up the wood. I read something about that in your 10X rule, man. That's an incredible book. I recommend it to everyone. Hey,
that book is magic. That book has got leprechaun shit all in it. I'm telling you, man. That book's got magic in it, bro. That book is, I think, a unicorn. Like when I was writing one night, a unicorn passed over it and put some voodoo on it. I'm telling you, dude. I know people that a guy wrote me. He's like, dude, I was a dead man, and I read that book, and it woke me up.
Oh. That's great feedback. Most authors will not hear that in their lifetime. So congratulations on that.
And that was my fourth book, as you know, books, but it was really like my 8th book and probably my 12th program. So I did 4 books that nobody actually knows about that got me known in an industry where I delivered these in person. And they sold hundreds of thousands of copies.
Yep.
But it's the last 4 books I wrote, and particularly the 10X rule, that really, really, like, change some lives.
Yeah. Yeah, the 10X Rule is absolutely one of the top 10 books, and I recommend it all the time on A to S. And what most people say about it, like the feedback that we've been getting, is that like it's just straight down the line. It's no BS. It's just straight up. This is what it is. Get in there. No more excuses. You know, it's everyone's going so soft nowadays, and that's why they're not getting where they want to be.
Yeah, you know, and the other thing is like to get a book done. I did a Periscope the other night, and I think 6,000 people showed up. I was telling them how to write a book, and I'm like, look, your first book is not gonna be the hit. You got to write, baby. You got to write, okay? And then right now I'm doing my 6th and 7th book right now. No, 5th and 6th. Yeah, 6th and 7th book right now, and the publisher they gave me a bunch of money, so now I'm their slave. But I hate selling myself. I hate selling my time, dude.
Yeah.
See, when I agree to a check, right, then you kind of own me. Now I did that because it's a good thing for me. So you see, even I'm still doing things I don't want to do.
Yeah, but you're always a slave to something, because there's always something that you probably don't want to do, but you got to get in there and do it anyway, right?
Dude, I'm wearing a boss shirt right now, right? There's always a boss above me.
Yeah.
Okay, even when I own the deal, it's my company, whatever. I still have to solve problems for other people. I got to answer to somebody. There's no such thing as being the man. It's just not real. Yeah. But my point about that was, on this book, they're like, "Hey, tell stories." I'm like, dude, people like straight up, give me the facts. I know y'all like the stories as publishers, but that's not the stuff people really love. So anyway, they're like, "Hey, twine some stories in, tell them that you're human." But I'm not human, man.
You're a machine.
Spiritual being, bro. Somebody was asking me about burnout the other day. I'm like, burnout, dude? I ain't a candle. I ain't a candle, bro.
Last time we were talking, you talked about you're like balance. I think somebody's got it all wrong. We're talking about having balance. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll leave that for the gymnasts.
For the gymnasts.
So look, let's talk about millions on the phone. What are me and you going to do for your audience for millions on the phone? Because your audience needs this material, man. They're dying without it. You're going to die, folks. You're going to die without the phone. I'm telling you.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, look, a lot of our audience are entrepreneurs. They're small business owners.
I'm listening, Joe. Go, baby, go.
Yeah. They're small business owners. They're entrepreneurs. And they are looking for a way to increase sales. Because here's the thing, right? Marketing sales, that's the number one thing for your company. Otherwise, if you don't have that right, it's not going to survive.
Yeah, so, and then how do you get through the gatekeeper? Look, let me tell you something. Here's a little trick. For instance, if they're easy to get to, they don't have any money.
Yes.
Or they can't make a decision. If you can get somebody on the phone today, okay, they're not making decisions. So if I want to get on the phone with the guy that runs T-Mobile, I better, you think I'm just going to walk in there and knock on? I walk into Google and I want to meet the man. Okay, I walk into Apple and I want to see Cook. You think I'm just going to walk in, man? Dude, that's not real. Okay, you think I'm going to Facebook him? Mm-hmm. Maybe I get his attention on Facebook, but I guarantee you he's going to say, "Hey, call me."
Yeah.
It's probably going to be more like this. Here's my email, which really isn't his email. It's to an assistant that is the gatekeeper. So I got to freaking somehow figure out how to seduce that person to make it all right for them to give me a phone number or to get an appointment to see him. But it's going to come down to this: 2 or 3 minutes that you have in front of somebody or on the phone. And the one thing that changed my career more than any other thing, any other technology, was the ability to know that I could communicate with somebody on the phone.
Yeah.
And the reason why that's so important is because your communication cycle is contracted so tightly, so compact, that you got to get your pitch down to where 20 seconds I get your attention, and the other maybe 2 minutes and 40 seconds I have a chance to close something. If you're rambling, like I periscoped, a guy called me yesterday, had this great idea. I took the call, we did the call, I'm on scope. I said, "You guys rate the guy's call, okay?" I open it with this: "You gonna waste my time, dude?" "No, man." I said, "Go." And then he rambled for 6 minutes.
Wow.
He even admitted he was rambling.
Is this the biggest obstacle? Like, is this the biggest challenge for a lot of people that are stepping into sales, that are jumping on the phone?
I'm not even talking about sales. I'm talking about anybody that wants to advance. Okay. Let's say you're an artist and you're Van Gogh. You're the next Van Gogh. You know, Van Gogh sold one piece of art his whole freaking living life. One piece. The guy sold one piece of art. Now, there wasn't telephones back then. But damn, dude. One piece of art. One of the best artists that ever lived in the history of mankind. Dude, you can only sell one piece, and he sold it to a freaking family member. Gave it away. What a damn shame. Okay, everybody got rich off of him after him. So why? Because he didn't know how to communicate. Okay, so the artist does not need to starve. Because great artists don't have to starve. They need to call somebody. And you can't turn everything over to a manager. You know, the guys that are doing well in entertainment today, they control their careers. They are in control of their career. Look at LeBron. LeBron has his own team. He didn't turn this over to a group. He wants to be in charge of all decisions. Control equals money. The opposite of control, the original word control came from the 15th century, and the anonym, which means the opposite of that word, means to lose. So the phone is a way for the entrepreneur to control contacts, attention, his business, the ability to control a communication so you don't lose. If you're losing on that phone call, it's because you're not controlling the guy, even when they're difficult on the other end. I know you've talked to people that are just wacky, tough people, hard, you know, assholes, we call them. But the reality is you didn't control that asshole, so he turns and says, you know, I like you and I want to talk to you.
Yeah.
And that's why we put that program together.
That makes sense. Makes sense. What can we expect from the program?
Dude, just me, Zeus, dropping lightning and thunder into you until you're so strong that when you piss, you smell freaking onion peels and garlic.
And how's it laid out, buddy? Is it like all video content or?
It's all delivered via video. Okay, it's a video, so you get to load it down on your phone or your computer, and you have it available to you all the time. So you can listen to me in your car, or you can sit on your computer with your teammates or your employees or your team, your sales team or your entrepreneurial team, and say, hey, how are we gonna? Here's a target. We have a target. What's a script? It's loaded with scripts. So I go over scripts for chiropractors, dentists, roofers, artists, you name it, man. I mean, look, I've sold everything from tangibles to intangibles, to TV shows, to book deals, to I closed a $58 million real estate deal with a telephone. There was 38 other bidders. I was the low bidder and got the deal over the telephone. I've closed $60,000 deals on an iPad from 38,000 feet in the sky. Dude, how you going to do that, man? How you going to do a great video if you don't know how to use the phone?
Yeah, that's it.
I'm a gangster, dude. I'm a gangster. I'm a freaking legit, ethical gangster of the 21st century. And my whole goal, Joel, and you see me, dude, you see me pushing it out there, okay? My goal is to meet 7 billion people on this planet. Oh, by the way, there's more phones than there are people.
Wow.
Do you know that? There's more mobile devices on planet Earth than there are human beings. So sooner or later, you're calling somebody. The average American makes 8 phone calls a day. That's 250 a month. I'll do 250 calls in a day.
Well, I don't understand why people aren't already on this program, man. If they're serious about their business, get on it. What's the address? How can they hit it up? How can they check it out?
Well, I think we put together a special address for you guys. millionsonthephone.com/addicted to success, maybe?
A to S. Let's do A to S. It'll be easier.
A to S?
A to S. Yeah.
Okay, whatever. Jared's got to figure that out. You tell me what it is. We'll put it in the link below and we'll hook it up. It's a 200. We have it on sale at my site right now. If you go to my site, I think it's a $649 program. It's on sale for $299. Let's do something special for you for your gang. All right.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I really do.
Let's do it. $49 or something.
$49.
Yeah,
wow, that is a special.
So it's $10 an hour. $10 an hour. That's what you're paying me, $10 per hour delivered. Then I'll give you another 27 minutes, and I'll give you an 86-page ebook that will show you exactly what to say, exactly what to do, exactly how to handle a caller, how to handle the obstacles, how to get excited, the mistakes you're making.
Yeah. Value, man. Nothing but value. For 49. That's incredible.
And then my goal is for you to have so much success with it that other people will be like, dude, this is the best program I've ever heard. And then what we'll do, Joe, is I'll send you a bunch of testimonials of people that already paid way more than $49 and what they said. They're not going to be upset with me either. When they find out I sold it for $49, they're not going to be upset because they've already made tens of thousands of dollars. We had a guy the night we sold the night we introduced the program, okay, writes us the next day, sold an $80,000 commission, made 80 grand. His commission on the deal was 80 grand from using one thing in the call.
Wow.
The money's out there. Joel, do you agree the money's out there?
The money is 110% out there. It is.
Yeah. So I'm going to give everybody a little exercise, okay? Today when you're out in your car, I want you to look around. I want you to look around, see how many people are in poverty. All I want you to do is look for broke people. Okay, then when you've seen enough of that and you're disgusted enough, then I want you to turn your attention and look for the people that got a bunch of money. Maybe you got to go 2 blocks. Maybe you need to go to a different store, different neighborhood, a different postal code. Just go to a different neighborhood and then see, oh shit, man, these people ain't got a shortage. They got landscapers, man. People picking up their trash and washing their cars. So is that about zip codes, postal codes, neighborhoods, or is it about, because I promise you this, the people in Beverly Hills, okay? They're no prettier than you, Joel. Dude, it's hard to be prettier than you. Come on. Perfect set of teeth, good head of hair, man. You got the eyebrows. You get your eyebrows waxed?
Nah, man.
They focus on their money, bro.
Yeah.
Those guys focus on their money, you know? And the people that have made it on this planet financially, trust me, man, they might not be happier when they're rich, but they ain't broke and unhappy. Pick one. Pick one. Pick one if you want to. I'm picking both of them. Look, I want $100 million in my bank account, and I want $100 million in my happy account.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Look, there's a excuse that I hear so often, right? Where people say that, like, oh, you've got to, that skills is just like a natural talent, that it can't be learned. Like, what's your take on that?
You think I was born in this?
You started from the bottom.
Dude, I started from the bottom, bro. Humble beginnings, okay? I was 25 years old. I had nothing. My dad died when I was 10. My mom brought me up. My mom had no education. My mom had never been around money. You know, in my household, nobody talked about money, bro. Nobody talked about getting rich. You know what we talked about? Saving money, okay? Save money. We didn't talk about Miami Beach, okay? And nobody talked about going to Miami Beach and having a freaking penthouse, you know, that's got a whole floor. I got more deck in this house than I had house where I grew up. So I've always been a dreamer, man. I always wanted to have, I didn't want to get rich. I wanted to have so much that I didn't have to worry every day. I wanted freedom. I didn't know the word was freedom. I wanted freedom. It wasn't things I wanted. It wasn't a car I wanted. It wasn't a watch I wanted. I like all that stuff, you know, like the bar. You like the bar I got back there?
Whoa.
They got a seat for you, man. Okay. So I didn't, you know, I didn't want a jet. You know, Tony doesn't own his own jet. He leases. I wanted my own damn jet, dude, with my freaking 10X on the tail. But I didn't want that until I grew up and knew it was possible. When I was a kid, man, I wanted a good job, and I wanted one day to have some money, a little left, supplement money, like extra money, you know, just enough to where I wasn't freaking going to sleep every night saying, oh my God, did I turn off the lights in the kitchen? Because that's how I grew up, man. And it gets old. That's that just enough. I got just enough to worry about what I have, which is the financial condition of most of the planet.
Yeah. And you can definitely credit sales, like learning sales, to all your success, right?
Dude, how you going to get money without money is revenue. Revenue is sales. You know, I'll show you the power of revenue and sales. It only represents about that much of a financial statement.
Yep.
The rest of it is expenses. So if you're a person, if you're an individual and you're having trouble with money, one thing you need to do is you need to shift your attention from the budget to the income. Quit worrying about what you're spending. Debt is not your problem. Spending is not your problem. Yeah, you went and bought some 22-inch wheels. That is not your problem. You spent too much money at the club the other night, but that's not your problem, dude. Your problem is you don't make enough money. And if you want to make money, you need to learn how to sell somebody on giving you the money they have. See, I wake up in the morning and I say, who's got my money? First thing I say to myself every day, who's got my damn money? Somebody's got my money. I've been saying that since I was 25 years old. When I turned my life around, it was on that one line. Who's got my money? Back then it was like, who's got my shoes? I need some new shoes. Who's got my shirt? I need a new shirt. Who's got my suit, man? I used to tell my mom, I say, hey, I need a new suit. I got to go find somebody that's got the money to pay for my suit. Because I'm not going to pay for it. Shit, I don't have any money. Look, who's going to pay for that little thing right there, man? Okay? So now I'm in a position, Joel, that I can create programs. I can do seminars. I can go speak at the Pentagon this month and talk to the soldiers. Dude, I don't have to be paid that. I'm in a position now where I can create a program, spend 4 hours of my time, and probably 4 months that it took us to create the program. Champ. You cannot go on the table. Can we get little one? Guys, I need some help, okay? Thanks. I need help. So I'm in a position now, man, I can spend 4 months to create a program, spend 4 hours delivering it, broadcast it out, okay? And then run into a guy like you that's connected on the other side of the world that's got a huge, huge network of people and say, look, I'd rather know your audience, okay, and shave it down to $49, nothing, and give up the profits and get introduced to your audience. So that when I come to Australia, or when I go to, this week I'm going to Prague, or I go to Sofia, Bulgaria. Dude, I could have friends all over the world, man. Dude, I want friends everywhere, man. I want to go smoke one of them hoochie pipes or whatever in Istanbul.
Yeah, you live an epic life, man, because you put the work in early.
Yeah, but to do that, you need to be able to walk in a restaurant and say, my name is, okay, and I want that table right over there. I like that. I got to tell you, I like that. If I die on a plane, I want to be in the front of it. And I'd rather be mine. And dude, the thing is, man, anybody can do this thing, bro. Yeah. Like this isn't some motivational thing. I know for sure anybody can do this. And it's not about motivation. It's about skills and strategies, and anybody can learn them. If you're not a sales type, if you're more of an introvert and you don't really like doing that, dude, I can show you how to extrovert yourself and get in front of people. Anybody can do this. In fact, I'm going to tell you, introverts tend to be better at controlling a communication cycle than an extrovert does.
Why is that?
Because they listen better, and because they don't flow as easily, maybe as naturally, they tend to be more selective in the questions they ask. So if I can get you down to asking the right questions and knowing when to finish something, then you would actually be more comfortable in your introversion, if there is even any such thing as an introversion. I don't think yeah, exactly. But I don't really think there is. I mean, I don't think people are introverts or extroverts. I think under the right conditions, you'll extrovert or introvert. Yeah. But if you believe you are, like women think the sales is different for women than it is for men. Okay, well, whatever, dude. Okay. If that's what you think, that's what you think, and you're right. So, some people think because they're 22 years old, they tell everybody, well, I'm only 22. Well, quit saying that, bro. Okay? Alexander the Great was 16. He was taking over the planet.
Stories, man. It's stories that people have in their head, right?
Right? They're like, what's your dialogue, bro? Yeah. So that's why you got to, what are you listening to every day? If you Google phones, first thing you're going to see is pop up is cold calling is dead. Yeah. You know why? Because people are freaking, people want to believe that BS. Okay? Cold call, you will make a cold call in your life. I don't care who you are. You will pick up the phone and call somebody you don't know. For your life to go from here to there, you will have to make a phone call at some point in your life to someone you don't know, and the call will be cold. The call that's even more dangerous than the cold call is the call that you think is warm or hot that actually is cold. And I go over all that in Millions on the Phone.
You know what I'm excited about as well with Millions on the Phone is that we have a huge following that's in network marketing as well on A2S.
Yeah.
And I know that if they're able to do this, they're going to 10x everything because they're not having to go out and, you know, recruit or whatever you want to call it, right? Face to face and go through the trials and errors. They can hit it hard over the phone. They can do it internationally as well, not just locally.
Exactly. Yeah. You got a meeting Thursday night. You want to get people from all over the world to be at that teleconference or at that meeting at your house. Man, you got to know how to lock a guy down. You need to know, is it really you're coming or you're not coming? Because I don't want to be disappointed. Because what happens if the guy tells me he's coming to the conference and then doesn't show up for the conference? Do you know how impossible it is to get him to the next one? Your problem now is saving face. On a phone call, you have to know how to get people to save face if they're not coming so that you can get them to the next one.
Yeah. Yeah, otherwise you're dragging them by the feet to go to these conferences, right?
Yeah, dude.
If you did it right over the phone to begin with, you're good. They'll come anyway.
Exactly. And if you know on the call, okay, like there's a question I ask people in a call, when I'm pitching somebody on a phone call, how much of what I've shared with you so far do you believe? See, I would even ask your audience to answer this question right now. Me and Joel are sitting here talking. Clearly I'm pitching something, right? What percentage? You don't need to believe everything I've said to you. Let's assume that I've been lying to you for some percentage of this Skype interview. What percentage do you believe? Now, what that does, Joel, to the person receiving is they have to say, yeah, how much do I believe? So it brings this uncertainty and pops it up a notch. Because you don't need to believe 100% of what I'm telling you to buy from me.
Yeah.
I just need to have you in the 70, 80, 85% range, man. Look, 80% I get to graduate.
Yeah.
You know, so it's those kind of little trick questions, hooks, money questions, magical questions that are in the program that will help somebody learn how to control a phone call.
Yeah, and I also listened to your audiobook. I was like Closer's Survival Guide, is it?
Yeah.
I think it was that one, yeah. And I just couldn't believe how many lines that you had in there that you shared. So like knowing that you've tried and tested so many of these and you've shared them already for decades now, right? That this program is going to be finely tuned.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Up to date and finely tuned. Yeah.
Yeah. This is not 30 days of work. It's 30 years.
There you go. No, I love it, Grant. Dude, I really appreciate you offering us this special. I know, it's very generous of you to be offering it for $49. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
I think by now,
but
anyone that's been listening, like, you'd be next to stupid if you're not investing in something like this.
Dude, we're all next to stupid all the time. Let's face it, everybody's next to stupid every day of the week. The question is, you're going to keep doing that deal to yourself or not? Okay? Now, this is the reason people won't do the program. Because it's not for the money. It won't be for the $49, okay? A meal costs you $49 that you won't even like. And then you got to tip people because you feel bad about them bringing it to you. So it won't be about the money. This is the only reason people won't do this. The only reason, there's only one reason, is because they've bought other programs in the past and didn't use them. So when you say no to you today, it's because of something you did yesterday, and your past basically becomes your freaking prison. Damn, man, I'm dropping some thunder today, huh, bro? So look, don't do that to yourself, folks. It doesn't matter what you failed at yesterday. Okay, it doesn't matter. I can't tell you how many books.
Papa,
yeah,
can
but
I give you a kiss?
Tell everybody who you are. Okay.
I'm Sabrina.
And
I can do anything.
that's right, buddy.
I love it.
So, hey, man, what are you going to teach your kids, bro? What are you guys going to teach your kids? What are you going to teach your wife? What are you going to teach your husband? What are you going to teach your friends? Who's going to control your sisters, your uncles, your aunts, your mom, your dad, your grandparents that have given up? What you did yesterday doesn't mean dick. Nothing. It means nothing. What are you going to do right now, right here, and going forward? Your future is going to be controlled by what you do next, not what you did last.
Yep.
So we've all failed. Everybody's failed. Joe, you're the man, bro. You're the man, dude. I just want to be handsome like you.
Stop it, man. I need to get myself one of those Boss polos, man. Where'd you get that?
I don't know. I got it at the Boss store, man.
Oh, man.
All right, bro. Let's hook up, okay?
Yeah, let's do it, man. Let's do it. I'll be out in Vegas. Let's stay in touch. And, yeah, looking forward to jumping on this program. I'm going to jump on this. I'm going to invest in this myself, too.
Dude,
About time I learned some sales, too, man.
I guarantee you, the first 5 minutes, I'll freaking blow your mind.
I don't doubt that either. All right, man. Have a good one, buddy. Thanks
Be
a
great,
million.
bro. Okay.
Catch you later, mate. Bye.